All right, so I'm gonna start fabbing up the air pan. First thing I did was I cut out some pieces on the CNC. Got it, had the CNC plasma cutter. Made all my parts. Then I made this part, just a kind of a mold and die on my CNC routing machine. And basically just use that to press a dome into the bottom of the pan. Now, the edges got all crinkled up, so I had to stretch them. Got that all kind of stretched out and worked in and flattened out. So this worked pretty well. Only one thing I really wish I had a bigger plate for the top, but it worked. So I wish I'd got some video of it, but it was kind of going sideways at the time and didn't want to get distracted on that. So anyway, got it kind of flattened out. Getting ready to run it on the bead roller and just roll a radius into the edge. So this part will then be complete. So the idea is that I'm going to roll a 1/2 inch radius up at the edge all the way around. Then when I make the ring on top, I'm going to roll a 1/2 inch radius in, and then I have an overlap to weld on, which for aluminum and a person of my skill level is the way to do it. So let me put you up on the stand here and I'll show you what I'm into with the bead roller. One second. Before I put you on the stand and show you what I'm into with the bead roller, this is a radiusing bit. It's a 1/2 inch radius. I actually built another piece here first, and you can kind of see what it does. It rolls that lip and gives you a nice edge to work from. So when we start to put the ring around it, it'll come right into it. So let me put you on the stand and I'll show you what this is all about. Okay, I'm getting ready to roll this. I'm not going into the throat of this thing, so sometimes I'll just throw a clamp in there to keep the two plates from deflecting, like this. When you have a large roller in there, sometimes we'll want to do that. Okay, in this piece, you just slide up against the edge of that die, tighten her down, give her a couple of turns. Hold on. I like to start on my mark so I know how many revs I've done. Okay, so this will start to tip that. All right, I've tightened it down a little bit. I'm gonna back my speed off a little. Okay, and I'm ready to roll. Here we go. And you just keep that leading edge against the die, and it rolls a nice radius into it. And I'll do this in a couple of steps. All right, it's rolling nicely. Okay, there we go. Now you can see it's starting to work up a lip. I'm gonna clamp this down a little more, finish the radius out. Keeping it pushed up against that lip. The lip of the die, that is. Now, I'll get back around. Now you could do this with a large plate with a hole in it too, just to keep this thing perfectly centered, but this die works pretty good all on its own. It's starting to potato chip on me a little bit here, which I'll probably just have to work out with a hammer. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, when you stretch a piece like this and you put a pan like that in the middle, it tends to make the edges want to shorten out. Well, it's actually pretty workable, so this might be okay. So yeah, that's the edge you roll into it. And I'll probably give this a couple more runs just to get that curled up in there nice. So yeah, there it is. Okay, so I'm rolling out my, just had a flat rectangular piece of metal, and I'm rolling that out to make the wall. And that pigtailed it quite nicely. Now I'm gonna just clamp this together, weld it up, and then I've got my wall ring done. Then I'll roll some edges in that as well, so the radiuses match the pan. So, all right, let me bring you back. Okay, so I've just clamped the ring together and it looks like it's about the perfect size. It works out exactly at 13 inches. So I'm going to tack this ring together here, or weld it, probably just weld it right up. And then I am going to work the, put the 1/2 inch radius in this edge, bottom moving in, top moving out, so that I can clamp it and weld those together. I'm gonna have to polish and sand out my, some of my hammer marks down here, but that won't be a very challenging task. I wish I could get this a little flatter, but I'm just gonna have to work it as I weld it, I guess. But it's coming. It's potato chipped a little bit. I wish I hadn't taken such a big draw here, but the reason I have this here is there's that fuel line that goes over the top of the intake right here, and that's relief for it, basically. So, let me move back and start tacking this up. All right, so we've welded up the ring, and I've started to roll the first radius in the top of it. And then I will move to rolling the radius in the bottom of it. This is rolling much nicer than the lid, being that it's a straight edge. The weld's a little funky, but hey, what are you gonna do? I should be able to feel when I hit. Okay, right there. All right, crank it down one more time and finish the bead. Comes the weld. Good doink. Here. All right. Looks good. All right, here comes my mark. Now, the other side has to have the opposite flare. So it has to flare in. How do you do that? Well, you go this way. go this way. Just, again, gonna do a fairly mild first pass, just to get me a good edge to work from. This works a ton better when the material's not all stretched out, I'll tell you that. Okay, here we go. A little harder on the first pass because it doesn't want to ride right on that ridge right. Okay, it's definitely going in. I feel like I'm making a pie tin. I mean a cake tin. As you can see, this is an Eastwood bead roller. I purchased this, a while back, a year ago maybe. And I like it. I used to have a bead roller when we were racing, but it was much bigger, gawkier. It had a crank, so you needed 2 people to do it. This is a one-man show. All right, that went over the weld pretty nice. Come on, get in there. Get in there. There we go. The nice thing about a radius is it's a radius, so if you slip out a little bit, you'll get it on the next pass. Now, the idea is this radius should cup right inside the other radius. Come on, I just lost it. There we go, come on, get up there. Nice. Over the weld. And I'll give it one more tweak. I think I'm about maxed out on it, but we'll do one more lap on her. Okay, there we go. Tighten that up a little bit. Okay, so there we go. We got a radius on the top and we got a radius on the bottom. The only place it doesn't look perfect is right over the weld, as you might expect. But it sure strengthens that a lot, actually. All right, let's see how it fits. Fits pretty damn nice. So the idea being now I have a nice double thickness edge here that I can weld, and I can just keep working around, clamping it, welding it. Like I said, I'm going to polish out some of my hammer marks here on the bottom first, just to get that smoothed up a little bit. But yeah, that fits very good. I don't see any hang up here. Yeah, clamp it down to a flat surface and I think I'm off and running. So hopefully you can see that. That's the idea. You put the radius in the flat piece and then you put the radius in the vertical piece. Then you have a nice wedge for your bead to sit in, and a nice little groove at that. So yeah, hopefully I can keep from screwing that up. So we'll see how it goes. Probably what I'll do is I'll clamp it down to a flat surface and then slowly tack it moving around. But all right, that's it for that part. Those are the first 2 pieces. Now I'm pretty sure the next piece is a ring that comes out this way. And I am not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it no longer fits. I think the hole in the center is a little too small, so I got to work that out. All right, so I actually just did I used this radius die as a slicing tool, and it worked great. and peeled off exactly the diameter I needed to make this all work. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm going to probably just roll that a little bit more in a couple areas, but that's pretty much ready to weld up. I've got to clamp it down to something flat, tack it, get it, work it around so that nothing is bowed or cockeyed, try to work some of the tension out of these pieces. But yeah, that looks pretty good. So tomorrow, I will start the process of tacking this all together with the TIG. This is not a learn how to TIG weld show. If you want that, go somewhere else, because I'm not that good at it, but I will get by. Okay, I think if I really wanted to roll that up some more and get a little more aggressive on it, I could probably flip these dies around and get that middle bead a little more aggressive. Let me give that a shot. All right, so I'm gonna start TIGging this together now. You can see I put I had that circle that I cut out of 1/4-inch steel that kind of matches up with the base. So I've clamped that down, got everything nice and flat. I'm gonna have to work around. I still got a few spots that are bulging up, but once I get the majority of this clamped in, I can move this plate around and clamp it again. So, like I said, I'm gonna do the normal procedure and just slowly work around here, tacking it in strategic locations, slowly work around, remove my clamps, and see how it works out. I think I'm gonna want just a hair more current. I was at 60 amps, I'm gonna go up to like 70. I'll start at 70, see how that goes. But you can see I got a nice tight overlap. That should weld pretty good. Keyword being should. And I'm not sure if I might have to roll this up on its side, but for right now I'm just gonna tack like this. See what I get. Oh, gotta ground it first. That would be good. Okay, here we go. Ooh. $75's too much. It's not taking it. Back down to 60. See if I can get this to lay in better. All right. Ugly, but it's holding. I gotta clean my tungsten. I'm just using this little grinder tool here All right, let's try that again. I think I really want to roll that up on its side once I get it stabilized. Much better. Much better. You gotta keep your tip clean. Okay, got that tacked up. Looks pretty good. Hot on the cannon though. All right, hang on. When I say good, at least I mean flat. So I'm gonna get the rest of this tigged. It's gonna take some time, however. I'm actually gonna call a friend too, who's a very good TIG welder, and see if he has time to do it this week. But yeah, that's basically it. Once I get this tigged flat and everything is good, I'll put the foam on it. Well, I'll paint it first, then get the foam on it. But yeah, that's looking okay. The tacks are hard. I think if I was to weld this up, I'd put a spindle through the hole and rotate it so I'm welding on the flat. That's how I would do it. But we'll see. We'll see if he can't do it. I'm gonna continue on. So anyway, here we are. Okay, what I'm gonna try to do here is I put some tape up under the hood here. I'm gonna try to close the hood and see how close we get. Maybe we can gauge this somehow. Okay, that's roughly, actually I think it's gotta come forward a little bit from that. I think it's gonna roughly be about right there. And let's close the hood and see what happens. Okay, hood's closed. Let's open it back up. Okay, I put a second piece of tape on the hood. This one a little further forward. This one's a little higher, a little lower than the plate will be, but I just want to see how it interacts with the front of the pan. So let's try this again. And I believe the front of the pan's almost going to touch that one. But we'll see here in a second. Okay. Hopefully I don't crush my phone into the radiator. Here we go. Okay, now it's down. You can see, I believe, that front tape is touching now. And so that means it's not a big deal. I just have to dog ear down my, my plate a little bit right here where it comes up onto these pieces, which I was kind of anticipating having to do anyway.